And then, of course, as I mentioned when I started, much of what my dad spent his time doing in trying to restore the bioterrain in his patients, which were all women, was dealing with hormones. And my dad was a pioneer of nutritional medicine. He was also a pioneer of hormone therapy and hormone replacement therapy. He was a very strong proponent of hormone replacement therapy, and if he were here today still practicing, he would still be a strong proponent of hormone replacement therapy, although he would be using bioidentical hormones to do it. Dad pointed out that everything in God's creation is cyclical. If you look at nature, if you look at the tides going in and out, everything in the body is the same way. We actually have a tide of the pH in the body shifts fairly dramatically, not in the blood, but in the tissues of the body every day. And depending on what the time of day and so forth, you have dramatic shifts in pH of the tissues. You also, obviously, in a normal, healthy woman of childbearing age that is, over past puberty, you have the cycle of the menstrual cycle, where early on in the cycle you've got high estrogen levels that are stimulating growth of the lining of the uterus, building up the wall and preparing for potential having an egg fertilized and implanted on that wall. And then when you don't have that, of course, then progesterone kicks in toward the end of the cycle and signals the sloughing off of the lining of the uterus, and you have the period. That building up and sloughing off of the uterus is a very healthy and positive thing. And when you stop that by giving the wrong hormones or you're having hormones get out of balance, and which is often the case with women who have estrogen dominance, either because they're overweight and they produce too much estrogen, or they're producing estrogen and being exposed to a lot of environmental estrogens or chemicals that are perceived as estrogens by the body. Other hormonal imbalances such as thyroid disorders affect dramatically our female hormones. So when you have that, you set the stage for a lot of issues. Overstimulation, hormonal overstimulation, is an underlying factor in a lot of female illnesses and disorders. So that was my, in addition to trying to normalize the physiology of the body hormonally, obviously, because of the Burgstiner Wellness Protocol and all that you can see, the maximum or the end result of all of that dynamic. You've got the restoration of the bioterrain. It's kind of that end result we're looking for, and hormones are a huge part of that. So the last product is the fourth product that I want to talk about is the fourth product of the Women's Health Pack. And that one is it becomes more important, much more important, the older the ladies are, and the closer they come to, going through perimenopause or menopause. And the product works by actually literally binding hormone receptors in the body. And so it inhibits a lot of the symptoms that are associated with perimenopause and menopause by doing that. So what are the symptoms we're talking about? Those of you who are approaching their menopause or are in menopause are very familiar. Hot flashes, night sweats, sleeplessness or insomnia, mood swings, depression or anxiety, memory lapses, brain fog, of course, heart rhythm issues, palpitations, loss of libido, vaginal dryness, breast tenderness, headaches, muscle pain and joint pain, hair loss or thinning, increase in facial hair. Those are symptoms of hormonal imbalance. And as you go into perimenopause and then menopause, these are symptoms that become more and more prevalent. But there are also, kind of red flags and outward some signs of inner struggles that there are ways to deal with, and this product is one of the most effective ways. We have incredible feedback. There are women who absolutely just will not go without Eats Harmony because it's such a blessing, in terms of their quality of life and not having to live with the extreme hot flashes and all the things that go along with it. So we set out to put together a formulation for the Eats Harmony product, and we were looking for ways to support women's health and that we're going to work together in balance. And so we started with soy isoflavones, and because they are, even though they're soy derived, they don't have soy proteins that are associated with all the negative aspects that you hear about with soy. These isoflavones are isolated, and they are very effective at binding estrogen receptors. And that's why they're in this product. And there's no downside to this. There's no, soy reactivity issue or anything like that. And then there are a number of herbs in that Eats Harmony product that have long history of use for all kinds of different aspects of women's health. So you get black cohosh, which is a Native American remedy that's been studied extensely with menopause. And dong quai, of course, is more of an oriental herb that has centuries and centuries of use for regulating the menstrual cycle and helping ameliorate hot flashes and vaginal dryness, a lot of the typical GYN issues and problems. It also seems to help move the bowels a little bit as well. Licorice is another one that has an ancient history, and it is very, very good blood detoxifier and liver support nutrient, very helpful in helping to sort of indirectly boost adrenal function, which is very, very helpful, and especially in this day and age where so many people are dealing with adrenal fatigue. Vitex berry, we put that in there. That's a European nutrient or sourced nutrient, and it is very helpful to stabilizing the pituitary and hypothalamus axis, which is what controls luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, and it helps to in estrogen dominant women, it helps to shift that ratio of estrogen to progesterone more in favor of the progesterone. So has a very stabilizing effect, and can even be beneficial for younger women dealing with infertility issues. Red clover is another phytoestrogen-loaded plant, very powerful blood cleanser, and sage extract is another Chinese digestive herb. Helps with hot flashes. Also has strong antioxidant properties and antimicrobial properties. Then you've got false unicorn and squalvine. Those are both Native American diuretics and tonics. They help with regulating menstruation and even ovarian pain. Then you've got blessed thistle in there, another bitter herb that helps with promoting good digestion, movement of the food through the gut and so forth, reducing inflammation. Red raspberries loaded with antioxidants and polyphenols. And then finally wild Mexican yam, or Mexican wild yam, which again is a long history of helping deal with women's health issues, from UTIs to menstrual cycle dysfunction to even dealing with some mental health types of issues, and helping to relax and kind of keep things in perspective. So you can see that this, again, and like most of our products, is it's a complex formulation, but it's a synergy-based product where the sum is greater than the parts. And when you put these things together, you can, as I wish we had someone here, we may actually have someone here who's got experience with the product. That the women who use this are absolutely swear by it. They just are so excited because it's a blessing to help them gain back control and not feel so out of control like you can when you're dealing with hot flashes and stuff like that.